Hey, how you doing? This is JD from Boom Dopamine Shift. And in our group, we have plans to talk about all sorts of different ways to invest. And one of the best investors in the world always said that you should invest in things that you know and that you're interested in and that you're passionate about, because you'll know when to get in and when to get out faster than anyone. Okay? Now, I've always been invested in space travel and anything to do with space, really, and space exploration. So recently I was started to look into investing in space travel and see what was out there and look into the ETFs and so forth. And I found out that investing in space is not what I thought at all. Because I was looking into space investing or investing in space travel, and I thought it was pretty straightforward, I guess in a naive kind of way. It would be rockets and exploration and humanity expanding beyond Earth, because that was the picture in my head. But the more I looked into it, the more I realized it's really quite different than what I suspected, and this is what I found, okay? Investing in space travel is not really about rockets. It's about infrastructure. Space is not a destination, it's a system that sits above everything else. Satellites, launch systems, navigation, Earth observation, communications, data relay. Space is the invisible layer that modern life already runs on. And here's the part most people don't think about. That infrastructure was not built for inspiration. It was built for advantage. Military advantage, strategic advantage, communication superiority. Now that doesn't make space investing wrong, but it does make it more complex than the version most people imagine, including myself. Okay? Now right now, if you want exposure to space, the easiest way is through ETFs. And there are only a few real options available to everyday investors, and none of them are purely civilian. Now that's not ideology, that's just structure. Let's walk through the landscape. The first ETF most people run into is the Procure Space ETF. Its ticker is UFO. Okay, UFO is usually described as the most civilian-leaning space ETF available, and compared to the others, that's mostly true. UFO focuses on companies that generate real revenue from space-related activity: satellite communications, Earth observation and imaging, navigation and mapping, space-enabled data services. These companies support weather forecasting, logistics, emergency response, and global connectivity. This is the version of space that feels optimistic. Space is infrastructure that improves life on Earth. But civilian does not mean military free. Many of these technologies are dual use. The same satellite that tracks climate patterns can also track movement. The same navigation system that helps logistics can guide military assets. UFO minimizes direct weapons exposure. It's not a defense ETF, but it still exists inside a space economy that was built on government and defense funding. So the most honest way to describe UFO is this: it's space infrastructure first, not space combat. Next is ARK Space Exploration and Innovation ETF, tickers ARKX. ARKX takes a very different approach. It doesn't try to separate civilian and defense innovation. It openly embraces the idea that space, defense, and national security are currently intertwined. Its mandate explicitly includes defense innovation tied to space. That means ARKX is comfortable investing in companies that serve military, intelligence, and government customers alongside commercial ones. And that's not hidden, it's intentional. ARKX assumes that exploration, power, and security develop together. Whether someone is comfortable with that depends on their values. The third commonly referenced ETF is the S&P Kensho Final Frontiers ETF, ticker ROKT, and it's often misunderstood. It's not a pure space ETF. It's a frontier technology ETF that includes space, aerospace, and defense. Because the universe of pure space companies is small, ROKT fills its portfolio with large aerospace and defense firms. In practice, that means that ROKT carries significant defense exposure. It's closer to aerospace and defense with a space narrative than it is to civilian space exploration. So what does all this tell us? It tells us that pure civilian space investing barely exists right now. And the reason is simple. Space infrastructure is extremely expensive. high risk, slow to develop. And governments absorb that risk first. And governments fund space primarily through defense budgets. Historically, defense builds the foundation. Civilian use comes later. Private profit comes last. And this is how satellites, GPS, rockets, and global communications all developed. So when people ask if they can invest in space without funding military activity, the honest answer is this: not completely, not yet. And that's not a moral failure, it's simply where we are in the timeline. Now here's an important nuance. Even though space investing often requires long timelines and patience, that does not mean these investments always move slowly. In fact, some of the space-related ETFs we've talked about already have performed very well recently. As of this year, ROKT is up over 50% year to date. ARKX has been running between 40 and 50% on the year, and that surprises a lot of people. It surprised me too. It's a reminder that long-term themes can still have powerful cycles. But this is where calm matters even more. Strong performance does not change the nature of the investment. These are still volatile, still tied to government budgets, defense spending, and technological risk, still subject to long stretches of uncertainty. Short-term gains do not turn space into a quick win category. They just show that when capital flows into the future, it can move fast. Now this is where investing in space stops being just a financial decision. It becomes a nervous system decision. Okay, and this is where it ties into boom dopamine shift. If your brain is trained on stimulation, strong runs can pull you into chasing. If your brain is untrained, pullbacks can push you into panic. Space investing exposes impatience faster than almost anything. This is not momentum investing. This is not dopamine investing. Space punishes urgency. If your nervous system needs constant feedback, space investing will feel uncomfortable. And that discomfort is revealing. Dopamine-driven systems crave validation. Space gives very little. No daily wins, no constant reassurance, no guarantees, just waiting. An untrained nervous system fills that silence with doubt. A trained system uses that silence to think. This is why calm is not a personality trait, it's infrastructure. Calm allows you to hold uncertainty without escaping. Focus allows you to see beyond noise. Systems replace emotional decision making. This is the same skill set required to build wealth instead of chase it. Boom dopamine shift was never just about gambling. Gambling is obvious. Scrolling is quieter. Chasing trends is quieter. Impulse investing is quieter. But it all comes from the same place. A nervous system that cannot tolerate stillness. Space investing does not reward intelligence first. It rewards regulation. It rewards people who can delay relief, who can sit without stimulation, who can think in decades instead of days. So before asking which space ETF is the best, there is a better question. Are you investing for excitement or for alignment? Are you comfortable with dual-use technology if it enables long-term civilian progress? And are you calm enough to wait? Because investing in space is not about leaving Earth. It's about outgrowing urgency. And that is what I did not expect when I started looking into it. But it might be the most important part. I thank you for spending these few minutes with me. This is JD from Boom Dopamine Shift, and I'm super grateful that you're here. If you liked what you heard, subscribe to the channel, throw a comment down there, because it really helps the algorithm, and it will help this new channel get started. So anyway, I appreciate you. Peace.